What's going on, y'all? It is tomorrow. Um, I'm out here. I'm getting ready to put the pond together. But first thing I need to do is build a framework to set the bog pots on, the bog containers. And so you can see it's all set. Everything is watertight. You can see these beads cleaned up. Got a little bit of sawdust in there from when I was cutting the legs for this. Legs, cross members. So yeah. I've got all these cut and marked, front and back. So front legs are going to be the ones that are closest to the fountain, or to the little pond. The back ones are just slightly longer. Can't tell, but about 1/4 of an inch longer, maybe 1/8 of an inch. That's just to give us a little bit of downward angle, so that if it's all completely flat, then water will go everywhere. So we want just a slight tilt. So what I'm going to do is show you how I put together. What we'll do is we'll take this and we're going to go on top, across the top like that. And because this is just little half by 2 or half by 1.5, I'm going to go ahead and pre-drill. I've got some self-tapping screws, but even with that, I'm going to go ahead and pre-drill some holes. That way I don't worry about splitting all this. This is just wood I had laying around. So if you're using like 2x4s or something like that, and you're using self-tapping screws, you should be fine. But because we're going into the end like this, I'm definitely going to drill some pilot holes. That way we don't have to worry about it splitting. And what I'm going to do is I'll build one of these just to show you how I do it, and then I'm going to go do all the rest of it off camera. Fairly boring. But yeah, so I've got this longer one that's going to go on top, and then as a second spacer, I've got this one that'll be down here about halfway, and that should be all we need. Then we've got long pieces that will be going probably on the inside. I think, yeah, probably on the inside. Like that. So that'll be the cross section. There'll be one of these on either side going all the way back, and then there'll be one down low as well, just to hold it together. Those will probably be on the outside, so I guess I should probably do these all on the inside. Yeah, I'll do them all on the inside, or outside, because I've already cut these, and these go straight in between there, and pan to like to cut these, because all I have at the house is a little circular saw. So cutting that down even more, I'm not going to want to do that. If I had a chop saw or something like that, that would be fine. But yeah, so what I'll do is I'll go ahead, square that up at the top, and I've got just a little 5/16 bit. We're going to go straight down. Try and center it on board. And so you see pilot holes drilled. Switch over to my impact driver, just because that'll be a little bit better for the Try not to whack yourself in the face. Go in flush, a little bit of a split, maybe not quite so flush. That one did go in a little deep. But same thing over on this other side. And there you go. And then I'll go ahead. This is my front board. So I'll take my other front, make sure that the F is, and all I did was I marked them, F, B, 1, 2, just so that I would know where they were going. And so again, I'll go ahead and line that up flush. Switch back to my driver. So there's our first one. Then I'll go ahead and do the back side for that. All right, so that's the 4 of those. So you can see it's just slightly high. Oh, it's just slightly higher. We fit. Nope. I tried. Oh, there we go. So you see this one's just slightly higher in the back. This will be the this one will be the front. This will be the back. So they'll be just slightly higher. And then what we're gonna do, because we're gonna have part of the part of this bottom bog hanging over. So we're basically just setting up about like that. And then this will go about like that. That way, actually, we're going to go on the inside for these because I've got this extra one that I want right here in the middle just so I have support underneath the whole thing. And we'll be able to connect those together. So I'll go ahead and get started on that. So what I'm going to do with this one is I'll put 2 holes right here. It'll be in between these 2 screws, that way I don't have to worry about hitting them, especially with this top one, if I were going to put them diagonally there. So I'll put those straight in the middle. And same deal, I'm going to take my drill pilots, top and bottom. I've got a little bit of penetration on that. That's fine. I don't care. It's going to be tucked back nobody's going to be running their fingers underneath it. It'll have the bog on top of it. So the only thing I have to worry about that is if I'm taking it apart to move it, or taking it apart to clean it. And I'll just remember that those are like that. Probably after I cut myself on one of them, but you don't have to worry about that. That's all on me, which will be fine. It'll be more than enough support. All right, so that's that one. And then we'll do the same thing in the back, like that. These out of the way a little bit. Make sure they're flush. The way that I do that is I'll take my drill bit and put it actually in the middle of this board right here like that, and then just lift it up and bring it into the center. And try and keep that where it needs to be. That way, I know I'm actually getting into the that structural cross member, and I don't have to worry about missing it and then having to redo it over and over and over again. Straight down the center. So I'll turn it around, do the same thing on this side. Line it up, find out where it is. Put my pilot hole down. Same thing over here. Make sure I'm in the center. And then come down. And a solid cross member. So then we'll do the same thing with this front one. It might also help doing this below you. That way you can look straight down on it. But if you don't have that luxury, like you're trying to film, you can just do this. And it works every time. Well, for me at least. As long as you bring it straight up and over, or you notice something on the inside of the board that you can use as a reference point. So there's that. No blowouts on the inside. Awesome. Then we'll take this, and just like we did with this up here, I'll take this about halfway down. It doesn't have to be exact. This is just exact. Because this is just there to hold it all together. Make sure you don't get any lateral movement side to side. And again, I put my 2 pilot holes. Don't touch the end of your drill bit. It's going to be hot, just so you know. If you're reaching over it, try to not touch that. That's quite warm. So I'll do the same thing over here. Yes, I'll do it over here, that way you can actually see it. So with these, I'll just hand start them. There's a knot right there, that's why it's not going very well. Then we'll do that same thing back here on the back. About the same height. Again. Turn it around and same thing. All right, we'll go over here. Then what we'll do is we'll take this tubing, we'll put it down into the pump. The pump's not down there yet. Then we'll bring it up right here, and it'll come in from the back of this. We'll go down into the, down in there like that. I'll get some zip ties. We'll zip tie it there. And then bring it over to this other one. And we'll zip tie it there as well. So now that we know where we're going to have it set up, those are fairly set. I'm going to go grab a hammer. And because I made this basically up to the level of the top of the rim, what I can do is actually pound these down into the ground a little bit. I'll take a block. It's just a little, I think it's an 8-pound sledge. And so what we'll do, just come in here, smack that. It doesn't have to go down into the ground real deep. All we're looking for is just to make it stable. Maybe over here on this side one more time. And that's perfect. And that way it is still up over this. So there's that. We'll do the same thing on this back one. We have basically the width of that board again. Just take it, nice and steady. Do it one more time over on this side. And that's perfect. Now I'm just checking for level. You can use an actual level, or you can put a little bit of water in it and see where it rolls. Both of them are coming up towards the front and not the back. So that's good. We know that the water will always be flowing this way. And if it's not real level, if it's not where you need it, just give it one smack or a couple of smacks on either the front or the back, wherever you need it fixed, and that'll be good. All right, so now what we will be doing is we're going to go ahead and mount our pump down here in the bottom. This one's got suction cups on it. If yours doesn't, then don't worry about mounting it like that. But what we're going to do is just push it down a little bit. We're going to grab our pond basket, and where we cut that hole in it, we'll just pull that tube through, attach it to our pump. Make sure that our wire is coming out of that little knot, that notch that we cut out of it. And out of the way. So we'll just have that coming up. And do the same thing with this tube. Let me grab. So I got a pack of zip ties. And will they fit? No, they won't. Booey. Because this is a bonsai channel. So I have a bunch of bonsai wire. And we'll grab enough wire to come in. We're going to actually attach the power cord to it as well. At least for this bottom one. That power cord will then go back up behind my bonsai, the potting bench right here. And I have a power cord that I have pulled out underneath the stairs over here. So we put that there, then allow it to come over around to the back, and then we'll actually attach it to this back side, at this back post right here. Actually, no, we're going to attach it right here as well, and then we'll come and attach it to this back post. So I'll grab another length of 1 mil, because obviously I don't need anything bigger than this, because we're not tying it down tight. It's just there to kind of keep it hidden and out of the way, so that it's not an unsightly mess. Bring it around to the back. And again, because we're not tightening it down, I'm just taking these ends and rolling them over. And we'll tuck these down. That way, when we have to take it apart, or if I have to take it apart, I don't have to worry about cutting that wire, and I can reuse it eventually, either on another tree or putting this back together. So, one last piece of wire. Again, same thing. Just turn it over a little bit. Bring y'all over so you can see. So right here, it just turned over, and we'll tuck it down to the low, just like I did with these. Just tucked them down. All right, so now those are set. We're gonna take our bat first. So we know that's where it is, and we know this is gonna come up and over. We don't want a big giant crease in this, so we're going to leave enough back here to kind of go back a little bit. And I need my set of secateurs, pruners, whatever you want to call them. So we're going to come in and cut off the end. Now the rest of this we'll save in case we get a puncture in the this wire or this line, and yeah. So that I'll put aside. And so just the last, like, however long the tub is, that's all of that that's going to be in the water. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and basically punch holes all through this, because we want the water to fill up levelly. And I'll probably also fold this together and melt that off with either a, well, down here. So I'm going to take a hole punch and punch holes along the line. You can either use a drill if you trust yourself to do that. I'll have to get another bit. Alright, so I'm just going to take a drill bit. I'm going to flatten this out and drill through. We're going to do that every ½ inch or so. And then we're going to do the same thing going across it. So perpendicular to those holes that we just drilled. We're reaming out a little bit just to give it a little bit of a higher flow rate through there. Alright, so that's that. This will go in about like that. We're going to grab a little bit more 1 mil. Get that off. We're going to come up here. I'm going to push through. Alright, so down here at the tip, we're going to put in probably 2 or 3 holes. Alright, so I'll go in here, and we're just going to over. And the same thing here. And that way, we've just constrained it a little bit. These holes are a little bit bigger than these, so there will be more water on this front side. That can't really be helped as it is. Get that off, fold it over. There we have that kind of closed off as much as we can. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, spray out all of my containers and stuff. Just make sure there's no plastic or rubber down in there. And then I will be right back. We're going to go ahead and do the final assembly. So our pond pump is already in there. We're going to go ahead and push that down. And if those suction cups hold, awesome. If they don't, it doesn't really matter. Because we've got this pond basket in here, then that is going to give us enough room down in there that we can, oh, nope. Let me adjust you a little bit more. All right, so this pond basket's down in here. It's there to protect the pump because we're going to be putting some pea gravel around here. We'll probably put about 3 inches in here, and then we're going to fill up our 2 containers right here. So we'll fill these 2 up to right where this weir is, right here. So we'll fill that all the way up to there. Set those up. And then we'll fill up our pond. All right, so what I have for putting in the bottom of the pond is just a bag of pea gravel. It was like $7 at Lowe's. Not bad. So one thing that you're going to need to do when you do get it, it's real dirty. So we're going to spray this down several times. We'll cut a hole down here at the bottom to let all that mud and muddy water drain out. Normally I would take this, throw it in a pond basket and rinse it. But that one's already got a hole in it, so that's not really going to work super well. But this should be okay. And you're not going to get all of it for the most part. You'll get most of it, but all is a tough question. And so yeah. All right, so the important one is this one that's got the weir in it. What I'm going to do, I'll bring you back over here so you can see. Down in here. All right. I'm going to take this pea gravel and down at the bottom. And we're going to do it on both sides of the baffle. So the latex is basically just there to make sure that it's watertight. And the gravel is actually going to hold that baffle in place. So just like that. Looks like I'm probably going to need another bag of pea gravel. So you can see it's right there. It's filled up. may need to come down on this backside a little bit. It looks like it's angled a little too much. So we'll take that off. Grab our trusty little hammer and board. That's much better. All right, so that's going to be our bottom. And then our top, I'm going to fill up just the same way. And then I'll come over here, set that up. And I may be making a trip back out to Lowe's to see. Grab this. Make sure we rinse it out again. All right, so don't make that mistake. I'm going to have to dump these because it's not going to pump water into this top one very well if we don't put the hose. So now we've got that in there. And so all I'm doing is I put a good layer of gravel down into the bottom. And now I'm just holding this tube down until I have enough on top of it to keep that down low into the water. And hopefully it will stay down there with all this weight of rock on it when the water starts. We will see. It should. This is a good bit of pea gravel that is going on top. And this will all be covered up by water or by plants because the reason why we're doing a bog filter like this is it's a natural filter. It's basically a place for all the good bacteria that break down the fish waste to live. They'll live on any wet surface. So, and the surface of this, yeah, it looks really small, but because these are so small, every single different surface on those is going to be a place where those bacteria can live. So they will be in there in both of these. And there'll also be some in the gravel that's going to be down in the bottom of this pond. But there's going to be way more up here. There's going to be plants actually planted down into this pea gravel. And I'll show you that in just a minute. But so what the bacteria actually does is it takes the ammonia that's in the fish waste and turns that into nitrites and then into nitrates, which is what the plants use as a fertilizer basically. So obviously it's going to be high nitrogen, low phosphorus, low potassium, but that can be amended if we need to. Most of what I have are grasses. There's a few flowers. I got a lily, but that one will be fertilized far more than just what the bacteria will produce. But the grasses, and I've got a creeping ground cover that will be up here, and those should be fine with just a boatload of nitrogen in the water coming from that bacteria, which is coming from the fish. So that should be good. We'll do that. I'm going to go ahead and I am going to have to go to Lowe's real quick. So before I plant these, I'll go to Lowe's, grab another bag of pea gravel, because I know this will not be enough, because I want to come up about halfway up that pond basket. That way I have somewhere. I got some pond lilies as well. They're dwarf variety, which will only basically cover this up, but I can go in and clip out 1 or 2 of them. That way I just keep half of the pond covered. So we'll do that. I'll go to Lowe's, grab another bag of pea gravel, and I will see y'all in a little bit, and we'll be planting these. I'll go ahead and get the gravel down in there, nice and washed out. And yeah, so I'll see y'all in a little bit. All right, what's up, y'all? So I'm back from Lowe's. While I was there, I went ahead and picked up a new pond basket, because you can never have too many. Plus, it just makes this a whole lot easier, and they're only like $4. So, and that wash is much cleaner. Go ahead and make sure that it's not on the ground. You can wash it a little bit at a time, or get most of it off. Get off that top stuff and then wash the bottom layer. So I'm just gonna go in here and slowly, also off camera, I went ahead and checked to make sure that where I had them set up, that they weren't gonna leak, they were in the right angle. But like I showed y'all, if you just bang on because they're on basically stakes, you can just bang on them a little bit, and it'll pound that down into the ground a little bit, and it will give you whatever angle adjustment you need. So what I'm going to do, take this dirty pond gravel, and really, no matter how much you wash this, it's still going to be pretty dirty. But we're just trying to get as much of it off as we can. Give it a good toss around. And what I do is I hold the basket that I have down in the bottom and just add a little bit around the outside. Then when you get down to the bottom, again, just rinse as much of that. It's mostly sand, so it'll stay down at the bottom of the pond, or planter, or whatever you want to call it, for the most part. And what I want to do is come up basically to the top of the pond basket that's down there. That pond basket's there to give us a cavity for the filter to, or for the pump to drink, to suck up water from. So you want to keep that cavity there. So as long as you're holding this basket down, by the time you get a couple of layers of rock down there, it's not going to move, and it'll be held in by the weight of the rock. We're going to go ahead and use both bags, this bag too, the whole thing. It won't be a whole lot above the basket. It might not even cover it fully, but it'll get up the all the sides. And this is really for to keep like leaves and twigs and stuff from getting down into this into the cavity. All right, so you can come over here and look. The basket's right there. It's basically level with the top of the basket. So what we'll do is we'll take a little bit from the outsides and make sure, there goes my earbud. Make sure that we get all those little holes covered up. And water will be able to flow through the spaces in between the rocks very easily. But no twigs, no leaves, nothing like that can get in there and clog up our pump. So now what we'll do is I'm going to fill this up.